I read the verse in John chapter 9, verses 1 to 3. It goes on about this blind man who was born from birth, and the disciples say, look, who sinned that this man was born blind? And Jesus said, he was born blind so that I could show my power. And that was the only reason he was born blind. And through him, that I could do wonders for him and bring glory to myself. For this man who was blind, it wasn't only the fact that God was going to do wonders in his life, but also God was going to put his name indelibly in the Word of God for all time, or all human time. But the key thought is that God allowed this man to be born blind, to be born with something that really gave him sadness, for a real good reason, a special reason, and of course he had a special blessing. And this guy, I guess, because he was blind, he had to beg. Certainly wouldn't have been able to work probably. Probably didn't have many friends. Certainly probably wasn't married or had children. And he must have hurt a tremendous amount for a number of years, waiting for God to bless him. And he may have wondered many times why God allowed him to be born blind, why God allowed this to happen to him. And he must have thought he's had many wasted years in his life, many sad times. And I guess he would have remembered Jeremiah the prophet, because he would have had the Hebrew Old Testament then, which said in Jeremiah 29:11, I know my plans for you, plans to prosper you. Maybe he remembered that verse, don't know. But in all this he was hurt, I'm sure of that. And in our lives we too could say the same things. We could say, God, why have you made me like this? Why have you made me with perhaps with bad teeth or disability or my size, my shape? Many things in our lives that we're not happy with. Why have you made me like this, Lord? What's the purpose of it all? Why you done this to me? Why you hurt me? Why you allowed everybody else to be blessed in special ways, but I'm not? And it comes back to the very fact that God has a special blessing for you and me that's unique, perhaps to many other people. Because people who have had to go through a lot of sorrow in life, a lot of waiting, a lot of seeming injustice, they're the ones that end up with a real special blessing. They're the ones that, at the end of the day, have something very special from God, have a special relationship with Him, because they've had to go through so much in their lives. And just maybe today you're one of those people that you feel, I wish I would look different, I wish I was in a different church maybe, or a different setup, or whatever it might be. God has got a special plan for you, a special purpose for you, that perhaps other single people will not have, or rather other married people will not have, because they've had those blessings already. God's got something different in plan for them. But for you and for me, who are single and who have been waiting a long time, not for any fault of our own, we've tried and tried, but circumstances just haven't worked out. Like for the blind man, he was born blind for the purpose. And maybe God has said to you and to I that we have been set aside to be single for a time, an extra long time, for a purpose, because He's got a special blessing lined up for you and for me that's beyond our wildest dreams. So be encouraged.